Hi guys, welcome to another tutorial on IT.tutorials. I am Josef Bodnar. First of all, I want to wish you a happy new year because this is the first video tutorial on this year. I want to wish you a better year than the one is gone. So the goal of this video tutorial is to load personal data of a student into this student form. So let me to release the app. Click on student button. This will launch this form student, and click on data button to launch this display student data form. So as you can see, this is a DataGridView. This is the records what I've got in this DataGridView at this moment. Yeah, these two records. As you can see, the DataGridView is organized on rows and columns. Yeah, and the intersection of the columns and rows is located the cells. Each cell is counted using an index. For example, where I've got this cell, where is this column student ID, this cell has index 0, the next one 1, 2, 3, and so on. So this is very important to count each of these cells. Yeah, and inside the code, when you will do the code, you should match the index of these cells inside your code. Yeah. So the student ID should have the cell 0, the first name cell 1, the last name cell 2, and so on, because you will take over these personal data of students from these cells. Yeah, and you should match this, otherwise you will receive errors. Yeah. Okay, so let's start. First of all, I'm going to go inside this form. Yeah, this display student data form, inside the code of this of that form. Yeah, I go here on the top, and I'm going to declare a global variable, which is going to be public static integer, so int, and I'm going to name it student ID. And now I go back on this form, display student data. I select the DataGridView, release the properties window, select this lightning icon, which is for events, and I need this event, cell double click. Why? So let me to release again this app, and to release the display student data form. So I want when I press double, I click double with the mouse on this arrow located on the left side. So I want the data attached to certain personal data to be loaded into student form, into these controls situated on this form student. Yeah. All right. So this is my goal. So I go back. As you can see, the DataGridView is selected. Release the properties windows. Select this event, cell double click. Yeah. And now go to the next box. Yeah, and give a double click on it, and this will take you inside this method with this event cell double click. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to use the class of this student form. Yeah, why the class of the students form? As you can see, each form has attached a public partial class. Yeah, so this is the partial class of this form student. Yeah, FRM student. Yeah, so I'm going to use this class to create an object, which I'm going to name it display st from a student. I'm going to use this new keyword to create a new instance of this class of FRM student. Yeah, parentheses, semicolon. All right. So I used to create this object using this partial class FRM student. Yeah, because my goal is to load those student personal data onto this form, onto student form. Yeah. So this is the meaning of using this partial class FRM student. Now, first I'm going to use this integer variable student ID, what I have declared before, and because I don't have on this form, on student form, a control, a special control for ID, for the student ID, I have to use a variable, a integer variable, to store the ID of the student. Yeah, but first of all I have to make a conversion using this convert class to integer. Yeah, because all the data from DataGridView is string type. Yeah, so now I'm going to use the name of DataGridView dot rows. I'm going to use this property rows to get the row index using this e parameter. Yeah, and now it comes what I was speaking about, the cell, to get the cells, to get the index of the cells inside this square brackets, and the first is the first cell which correspond with the student ID column is 0. Yeah, all right. As I told you, you should be very careful to match these two, otherwise you will receive error. Now this is the value which is associated with the cell, with this 0 cell, with this index 0, which is the value. The value actually is the ID student. Yeah, all right. And because this value is an integer, I have to convert again the value to string. Yeah, and here semicolon. Okay, so that's all. I release again this application, and I release the display student data form. Yeah, here you go. Just I try to explain you. Yeah, so here we have this column. Yeah, student ID. So this is the index 0 of this cell. Now the next one will be the first name. The cell index will be 1. For the last name 2. For the gender 3. And I should respect exactly inside my code the order of these columns attached with that index of the cell. Yeah, what I have said to you before. Yeah, so the next is the first name, last name, and gender. All right. So I'm gonna to write the object display st dot, and I have to write the name of the text box which correspond to first name, but as you can see, I can't see the name of the text box which correspond for the first name, yeah, here in the list. Why? Because I have to go back on this form, on student form, and I have to modify the modifiers, to change the modifiers for all these controls. So select all these controls, launch the properties window, and look for modifiers, and here change the value from private to public. So make all of them publics. Also, let's make publics these buttons. Yeah. All right. Launch the property windows, modifiers, change private with public. Sorry, not protected. Yeah. All right. So now, if I go back inside my code here, now I should be able to see the name of the first name text box. Yeah, it's here. Yeah. All right. The property text. Okay. Equal. Now I can copy this and paste it after equal sign. Yeah, because it's about the same. What I have to change is the index of the cell, because for the first name I've got this index 1. Yeah, and here semicolon. Now I go and launch again the display student data form, because I want to count the number of these columns. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, so I have to paste it, this code of line, for another 11 times. Yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Okay. And I have to make the changes. Yeah, so the first the next one is the last name. Yeah. Okay, and here I have to change the index for the cell. For this one is 2. All right, the next one is the gender, if I notice well. Yeah, so yeah, gender, address, and mobile, and email. Okay, so here for the gender I have to make some changes, because I used these radio buttons, yeah, for them, for male and female. So I'm gonna to make these changes. All right, so let's put this down with enter key, and here let's put this lower a bit. All right, and here I'm going to use the name of the male radio button, rd male dot checked, and I'm going to assign it with a true value. And the next one, display st dot rd female dot checked property, yeah, equal false. Yeah, and here I'm going to write this conditional structure. Yeah, and I'm going to copy this. Actually, I'm going to cut it and paste it inside this parentheses. I'm going to remove this semicolon, and here the index of this cell will be 3. Yeah, and I'm going to remove this, and this should be equal if this is equal with female, Okay, I'm gonna to copy and paste this in here. Yeah, the radio button for a male should be false, and for a female should be true. Alright, I need another parenthesis here. Okay, the error is gone. So this is the code for the radio buttons. Yeah, okay, so let's go further. And the next one is gender and address. Yeah, address. Here the cell is the index is 4. Mobile. Yeah, the index of cell is 5. Email. The index cell is 6. Alright, so let's see the next one on DataGridView, which column is the next. So after email is date of birth, DOB, DOR, date of registration. So let's do these two. Alright. Okay. And here we should have, I think, CPM. No, I think it's CMB. No, because this is data picker. Yeah, is DT, I think. Yeah, date of birth. Good, date of birth, and here is 7, the cell index. DT, DOR, the cell index is 8. Okay, now the next one is the country combo box, I think. CBM, country, the index is 9. CBM county, the index is 10 for the cell. CBM town, the index is 11. I miss one because it should be 12, so let's see where is my mistake here, which cell I missed. Alright, let's put this down here and let's count them. So student ID, okay, first name, last name, gender, this is the gender, address, mobile, email, yeah, date of birth, date of registration, that's true, good, so far so good. Oh, class name, so here is the problem, the class name, yeah. Okay, right, so I missed this one, the class name combo box. So let's take this, so let's cut it with Ctrl X and let's paste it after this code line. Yeah, change here the name, CBM class, the index for cell is 9, and here is 10, 11, and 12. So the application is running, so I should stop to run the application. This is the problem, that's why I had that curly green lines here. Alright, okay, now I'm gonna use again this display as the object. The method show to show this form, display student form, yeah, and the meaning to load student personal data into student form is to make changes, yeah, to update the personal data of students or to delete the student personal data. So because these two buttons on the student form, I mean the delete and update data is enabled, actually is disabled, yeah, I should now enable two of them, these two buttons, update and delete. I go back inside the code and I'm going to write again this the name of this object dot btn update enable property equal true, yeah. So I'm going to enable these two buttons, update and delete button. All right, display st. All right, bt and delete enabled and true. Okay, so that's all. Let's change. Let's save all the changes. Let's see if this works. Hopefully you were able to follow me. It is quite a lot to write. I go through slowly again through this code, yeah, using this scroll bar here in Visual Studio. All right. Okay, now release this up. Okay, click on student button, release the display student data form, and let's give a click on this arrow on the left side. Double click. Here you go. As you can see, all the personal data for this student, Joseph Botnar, was loaded on this form student inside the controls situated on this form student. Yeah. So the code works, and let's load the personal data of this student, Carmen Botnar. Double click on this arrow. Here you go. The personal data of this student, Carmen Botnar, was loaded, as you can see. It works the code as well for the gender, as you can see, because this is a female. Now the radio button attached to female is checked, as you can see. Let's see. I didn't check for the male, so this is a male student. Double click. Yeah, it worked. Yeah, you see the male radio button is checked, as you can see. So now what is the next is to update or delete this personal data of this student using these two buttons, update and delete. But this is the goal for the next video tutorials, to do the code behind these two buttons. So that was all for today. Thank you for watching this video tutorial. I'm waiting for you to watch my other video tutorials. See you next time.